Nike has signed a deal with Colin Kaepernick for their new Just Do It advertising, and their new campaign not only features Kaepernick, but it takes a risk by featuring Kaepernick, sort of. So all the coverage that you've seen on this story today has been about how share prices for Nike has gone down. But Nike and any other corporation isn't gonna make a bold decision like this unless it was a smart business move. And I say that because they're not looking to Trump supporters and how they're gonna react to it. What they're really looking to is how young people are gonna react to it. And Cenk is gonna jump in on that in just a minute, but let me give you some more details on the story. So let's put the first graphic up again. Colin Kaepernick promoted this ad campaign by posting this on his social media accounts. It's his photo and it says, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. That is a message that I absolutely love, and it's certainly a message that resonates with someone like Colin Kaepernick, who has not been signed on to any NFL team following his protests where he kneels during the national anthem in order to protest excessive force by police officials or police officers throughout the country. Now, Nike called him one of the inspirational athletes of his generation, and people have reacted by boycotting Nike and also burning some of their Nike gear. To give you an example, I give you Exhibit A.
Here I am in Florida during a tropical storm, and Nike done me the off. Burn, mother. Tropical storm, standing out in the rain. Find out Nike hires Colin Kaepernick for their Just Do It campaign. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna burn all my Nikes. Been wearing nothing but Nikes for 37 years. And I'll never wear another goddamn pair as long as I live. Go yourselves. And Colin Kaepernick go himself too. Burn. Burn. You like that, Nike? I've so had it with you liberal motherfuckers, I cannot wait for this war to kick off so we can your sorry asses up. Liberal ass suckers.
Okay, so
he appears to be upset.
Yeah, indeed. I want to get back to what he said at the end in a second. But first, I have to note how much I enjoyed this latest trend, where Republicans pay for things and then smash them to pieces or burn them.
Yeah.
So they did it with Keurig coffee. They've done it with a number of different products now. They're losing their minds. They're like, oh yeah. Eventually, if like homemakers or real estate agents say something mean about Donald Trump, they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna burn my house down. Then you're gonna see. Then you're gonna see how really smart I am.
They really showed us. Yeah.
Okay, you just burnt, I don't know, hundreds of dollars of product there. Congratulations, okay?
You know what though? I support his decision to do that. I believe in free speech. He doesn't believe in free speech, but I believe in free speech. So if you want to burn your Nike gear in protest of this Colin Kaepernick advertising campaign, do you, boo? Burn it all down.
I'm going to talk more about the economics of it after we listen to Fox News in a second. But in terms of this particular issue, if you notice all these different right-wing protests, in the long run have had no effect on any of the companies that they are protesting, none. Now, again, there's another thing I've been telling you for a million years. I remember when they tried to do a boycott of Disney because Disney was not against gay rights. And they're like, yeah, you shouldn't treat your gay employees the same way you treat straight employees. Oh, we're gonna do a boycott of you. Nothing. Didn't affect them at all. It's a mirage. Right-wing power is a mirage propped up by donors and television hosts.
So, by the way, let's also be fair because the left-wing boycott of Chick-fil-A following Chick-fil-A statements about gay marriage, and they were anti-gay marriage, the head of Chick-fil-A, that boycott also didn't work. So
well, no, it's a mixed bag, and I'm not sure I'm in favor of these as well. And we talked about it on the show. First of all, Chick-fil-A did not work. That is totally true. I'm the only one left doing it, and I'm like,
just give it up, dude.
I know. I'm like, the sandwiches are good, but no, I won't. I'm last man standing on that. So we acknowledge that because we're real, right? On the other hand, man, they messed up Glenn Beck. and they did a lot of boycotts of shows that hurt him, and they hurt him bad. And a lot of them wound up going off the air, including O'Reilly. Now, O'Reilly did a lot of terrible things, but Fox News knew all along that he'd done those terrible things, and he had been exposed before. They still didn't take him off. They only took him off when all the advertisers pulled out. So some of the left-wing protests, right or wrong, definitely do work, right? So, but the right-wing ones have never worked, and that's partly why Nike knows where the real economic power is, and that's why the right-wing is even further enraged. But one last thing about that particular video. He said, I can't wait till the war starts.
I know, I mean, it's kind of crazy because I've failed to understand how Trump supporters are in this perpetual state of rage. You've won, your guy is in office. You're supposed to be getting what you want. You should be happy, but they're so angry and they just want to fight.
No, this story is exactly why they're in a rage, because they actually know in reality they have already lost. This is the last gasp of the angry, racist white man. Is every white man racist? Of course not. Of course, we're not as dumb as those guys. Of course we don't think that. But of the ones that are, they're in a rage because they have lost the culture wars. They've lost everything. So now that we got the Fox News clip, I want to run that real quick.
So Tucker Carlson, of course, wanted to weigh in on this. So let's hear what he has to say.
I would give him a pass, actually, on a lot of this. It's the executives profiting from him and his attacks on the United States while simultaneously denying that they are attacks on the United States. So they're saying, he raised the issue of racial discrimination in this country as if it's never been raised before, or as if, this is an attack on the country. So it would be very different if he were saying, I'm protesting this politician or this policy or this specific person for doing this specific thing. But no, sitting during the national anthem is a way of making a broad-based, generalized, and therefore impossible to rebut attack against the country that made him and Nike rich. Here you have a boardroom full of corporate executives deciding that they're going to profit from attacks on the country that made their company possible. That is a really ominous thing. We should be really worried about that when the best educated, smartest, richest people in our society decide that destroying the society is the goal and the way to get rich. And again, to their point that, this is a protest against racial discrimination. Okay, tell me specifically what you are protesting. Specifically. Well, this is a hapless kid. That's what we're forgetting. And that's why I don't think we should take Colin Kaepernick as seriously as we take the people around Colin Kaepernick, the sinister figures in this. So that's why we should actually be worried about this. It's bigger than just one football player.
Just one quick point about what Tucker Carlson said, a response to it. Eric Prince, Betsy DeVos's brother, said that our military is so incompetent and so stupid that they can't accomplish anything in Afghanistan. So as a result, we need to privatize military efforts in Afghanistan, essentially giving him a massive, federal contract so he can get rich. No, that right there isn't considered, being disrespectful to our troops or to our military. But an NFL player kneeling to bring up a very legitimate point about police brutality in America. That's disrespecting our troops. Get out of here. I'm done with that guy.
Two quick things. One, he says it over and over here. It's generalized. He never says specifically what he's fighting against. Michelle Malkin went on Fox News later and she said the same thing. Nobody knows what he's fighting for. Why don't you just ask him? Or you know what?
They know.
Well, hey, knuckleheads, why don't you Google it? Okay, so we did. So here's what Kaepernick's quotes say. He says, there is police brutality. People of color have been targeted by police. So that's a large part of it, referring to the protests. They're government officials. They are put in place by the government. So that's something that this country has to change. He went on to say, there are things we can do to hold them more accountable. Make those standards higher. You have people that practice law and are lawyers and go to school for 8 years, but you can become a cop in 6 months and don't have the same amount of training as a cosmetologist. That's insane. Someone that's holding a curling iron has more education and more training than people that have a gun and are going out in the street to protect us. So Fox News is lying to you on purpose as usual. They know exactly why Kaepernick's doing it. It's not an attack on the country. It's not general. It is very specific about police brutality and shooting unarmed black people in this country. It's a great form of protest, and that's what Nike is celebrating here. Last point. Why is Tucker Carlson so angry he's getting up in the morning, not waiting for his own show? Why are they all in a rage like this? Because they know they have lost. Nike is a giant corporation. they didn't go into this without doing a deep calculation of where they're gonna make more money. They're gonna make more money from non-racist people in this country, non-right-wing people in this country. They're gonna make more money from blacks, Latinos, et cetera, but also good white people who buy Nike and will be more encouraged to buy Nike when they see them taking a stand like this. They have made a calculation that the country will side with Kaepernick, and they are right about that. And eventually, because Nike is so important, they have so much money, the NFL will flip and they will also support Kaepernick. And they know, the Tucker Carlsons of the world, that they have lost. And losing that economic power is what drives them crazy. That's why they think this story is so important, and they're right about that. It is. They have lost, and we have won.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.